Have you ever wondered why some relationships feel easy while other relationships just feel like a constant battle? The answer might lie in your attachment style. Today we're going to be diving into 5 powerful lessons from the book Attached by Dr. Amir Levine that can transform how you build relationships and make the whole process a whole lot more smoother, fulfilling, and great. Let's get started. Lesson number 1, the basics of attachment styles. Your brain's probably thinking, oh, Adrian, what's an attachment style? I just build relationships purely because of physical looks, and what the hell does attachment style mean? I don't know what this means. I thought relationships just happen. I thought you just need a bit of luck. That's what I used to think. But what if I was to tell you that right now, there are 3 attachment styles which you're probably pretty unaware of. The first one being secure. Secure people tend to not have many issues when it comes to creating fulfilling relationships. They have the traits of open communication, don't really feel anxious or don't see that there's a big issue by explaining and discussing their needs. They have emotional stability, and overall they're just really secure in themselves. They don't have many insecurities. Sure, at times they might feel anxious, but overall they are secure with themselves and have no problems with being vulnerable and diving deep into relationships. I hate to say it, but this most likely isn't you. You watch my content, you can probably relate with me a lot, and there's one reason why you just enjoy my content. It's because we're both anxious attachment. It's not the end of the world that you have an anxious attachment. Unfortunately, you have no control of what attachment style you are, but you can become more secure. I think right now the most important thing for you is the fact that you are now aware of what attachment style you are. Anxious people, including younger Adrian, tend to cling, need reassurance, overthink, desperate, needy. We cling once we receive a little bit of love. Just because when we were younger, maybe how we got raised, the love was almost like an on and off switch. This would fuck up our emotions. This would make us feel anxious. So now when we do receive a little bit of love, we cling and hold on to it so tightly because we stress, and in the back of our minds we have this past trauma of this love can abandon us at any time. So we become really clingy, which isn't bad. A secure person can understand this, and a secure person will be like, okay, here's this anxious attachment. I'm going to reassure him. It's just that the anxious attachment usually falls in these toxic relationship patterns, with the third attachment style being the avoidant attachment style. Avoidants want intimacy, they crave it, they want connection, they want to develop fulfilling relationships. But unfortunately, avoidants find it hard to express themselves emotionally. It's almost like they're emotionally unavailable and they love having some distance and space. So now you're probably thinking, the anxious individual, most likely you, wants reassurance, wants love like pretty bad, like you want it bad, you become needy. So you start chasing this avoidant person and they want some distance, but you keep chasing. It's almost like cat and mouse. I'm going to dive deeper to the whole push-pull dynamics for later on in the video. But for right now, I think the most important thing you can say to yourself is, what attachment style am I? Because once you can actually identify what attachment style you are, it's going to become a whole lot more easier to navigate your way through dating and to actually find the one that you're truly compatible with. So your actionable step for this lesson is I want you to get out a piece of paper and write down some traits you have whenever you've been deep in a relationship. Do you get needy? Do you need reassurance? Do you need space? Or are you pretty secure in yourself and you just kind of understand everything will happen for a reason and you kind of put faith in God's hands? You're just like really secure in yourself. Take notes and see what attachment style you are. Lesson number 2, attachment stereotypes aren't always true. There's this common misconception that all men are avoidant and all girls are anxious. What if I was to tell you that attachment styles aren't bound by gender, but they're actually built and created by life experiences? So by you thinking all men are avoidant and all girls are anxious, it just purely shows how uneducated you are. In reality, and actually out there in the real world, most guys are actually anxious and most girls are actually avoidant. You've heard this scenario play out a million times. The guy becomes super, super needy because the girl isn't reassuring him, and the girl is actually emotionally distant. And it's just cat and mouse. Obviously, it can be vice versa, but I know from my experience, I was always the needy guy, and I was letting the avoidant girl define my value. It would make me feel like, oh, something's wrong with me, when in reality, I was just chasing someone I was incompatible with. What if I was to chase a secure individual who was more likely to open communicate and would want to fulfill my needs, because that's almost what a relationship is. Your job is to try to fulfill each other's needs. Unfortunately, most masculine guys tend to suppress their emotions, and this makes it seem like they're avoidant because there's just this false stereotype of, oh, don't express emotions, don't show love, don't show gratitude, don't show respect. It's not feminine, bro. If anything, it's the more masculine thing to do. It's the version of you who has way more emotional intelligence than the current version of you, than the version of you right now who thinks being vulnerable is cringe, thinks being vulnerable is bad. In reality, this hot feminine girl is going to become 100 times more attracted to you when you can get the balls to effectively communicate and just tell her what your needs are. Because, believe it or not, bro, no one can read your mind. And it's going to come to a point in time where you'll need to throw these stereotypes in the bin and actually be your most authentic self. I've made previous videos from books like The Power of Now to help you to become more authentic. So if you're interested in that video, I did post it like 2 videos ago if you want to suss it out after this video. But realize that right now, you have a lot of growing to do. And that by you suppressing your emotions is only making it a whole lot harder for you to find that sexy, attractive, feminine girl. Because the feminine seeks connection. The feminine seeks joy, reassurance, love. That's what she seeks. And you're suppressing those emotions. So what makes you think she's gonna love you more? She literally seeks those things, bro. Stop thinking you're some tough guy because you're not being vulnerable. You're just fucking up your chances and making it go on to the next guy. This is the unfortunate reality of what younger Adrian had to go through. Because there was one thing that was holding him back from doing so. Fear of rejection, insecurities, his ego, being the tough guy. Fuck all that shit, bro. Do you want to be happy? I'm quite sure you do. I want to be happy. I don't want to be in these toxic patterns which just fuck up my mental health and make me overthink. I want that secure base. I want to feel calm. I want to feel present because that's only going to improve the quality of my work in all other areas of my life. How much worse are my gym sessions going to be knowing at the back of my mind I'm in a toxic relationship which gets misperceived as exciting, and fuck that. I want my relationship to be like a calm water. Knowing that when I'm working, like right now in my room, I have someone to rely on, in which I do right now. My videos the past 2-3 weeks have been a fuckload more better and present and more entertaining. Just because I actually have that secure base now. And my life quality, bro, has improved in every single area. I'm not even just trying to brag here. I'm just trying to tell you right now that the more you can be your most authentic self, erase these stereotypes, educate yourself more about attachment styles, your life quality is going to improve in every area. Think about it. You're literally going to become more jacked, more healthy, better mental health, better work, better focus, all of these benefits. Another thing, you've been taught not to chase women and not to find a girl because, oh, girls are a distraction. Chase success, fuck that. You do know you're going to work 100 times harder when you have that secure base. And when you ignore these false stereotypes that these fucking high value men seem to push out so much. Get your sunglasses, go to Ibiza. Act so high value, but in reality, you're just deeply insecure because you can't express or dig deep with vulnerability. Put these stereotypes in the bin and see how much your life quality improves. Lesson number 3, why opposites attract. Most people fall into relationships that are so incompatible, especially in like young adulthood and high school. The main incentive why people go into these relationships isn't necessarily to fulfill each other's needs. Yeah, they still have fun and make out and have love. But usually, the main incentive is validation. And I know this sounds toxic. The main incentive is validation and not to fulfill each other's needs. So most people go into these relationships not knowing that they're incompatible, not knowing that they have fallen straight into this push-pull dynamic of one, either the guy or girl being anxious or avoidant, and the other one being anxious or avoidant. This anxious avoidant trap, which makes up most relationships. This push-pull dynamic can be extremely dangerous and almost a big waste of time. Sometimes it can work. Sometimes you can both become more secure. But most of the time, it takes a lot of self-growth in one another, and you can only self-improve. You can't force someone to change. So, for example, let's say you're anxious attachment and your girl is avoidant. You start to become aware of your attachment style like you have from watching this video. You want to self-improve, you want to self-grow. And now you kind of understand that if you're anxious and your girl is avoidant, it can be kind of toxic because you're constantly chasing and she's constantly running away. So you've become aware of this. You want to self-improve. You want to become more secure in yourself so you're not the anxious attachment. You try educating your girl about this. She's like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. But I'm not going to do the self-growth. I'm not going to meditate. I'm not going to journal. I'm not going to self-reflect. I'm just going to keep indulging in instant gratification because that's a whole lot easier. You can't fix someone, bro. And if you're on the path of becoming more secure, becoming more high value, while your girl is still like extremely avoidant and she's not fulfilling your needs as much as you want you to, this is going to lead to arguments. This is going to lead to drama. So think deeply right now. The smart thing for you to do would be to find a more secure partner because that will improve your life quality, right? And not just jump into relationships for validation because that's just superficial and doesn't make you as happy as you think it will. But I wasted so much time doing so, and I don't want you to make the same mistakes and potentially be in a relationship that is over like 5 years, and then you realize, oh shit, this whole time I've been dating an avoidant individual and this is why I feel like shit. Oh shit, I didn't play the numbers game and I just jumped into a relationship with the first girl who gave me a little bit of attention. I didn't even see the rest of the world. I just jumped into one because I thought that would make me happy. But in reality, it just made me a whole lot more fucking upset. Try your best to become aware of these dynamics. And I guess an actionable step for this lesson is for your future dates. I want you to start asking yourself the question of, am I compatible with her attachment style? What is her attachment style? If she's secure, okay, I actually might dive a little bit deeper in this relationship because she's compatible with me. But don't just jump into relationships purely because of physical looks, as all of us guys do. Dig deeper. Ask yourself the question of, am I truly compatible with her? Lesson number 4, confusing masculine and feminine energy with attachment. Another misconception. Right now, your brain probably thinks it's so feminine of you to express that you're anxious or to think that you have this anxious attachment. I kind of touched on this briefly before, but we guys like to think, oh, it's masculine if we avoid and we suppress our emotions, and it's feminine if you cling, if you become needy. That's really feminine of you. False. In the book here, it states that masculine energy thrives on purpose and independence, chasing goals and achieving them, leading the way, being a leader, providing security, reassurance. Those are masculine traits, not you being anxious. Whereas feminine energy is all about connection and nurture, joy, love, expressing yourself. So by you thinking the masculine is feminine by being anxious, that's not the case. If you dig deeper, it's not actually that. It's actually insecurity driven. Not that you're more feminine. It's just deep insecurities you have, which has nothing to do about masculine, feminine energy. Masculine energy is all about purpose and mission. Feminine energy is all about nourishment, joy, love. So by you thinking being anxious is bad, which yeah, it kind of is, you want to become more secure, but it's just where you are right now, it's not a bad thing. And with being avoidant, you might seem that that's more masculine, whereas it's not. You being avoidant, if you want to dig deeper again, that's actually more fear-based. You fear being vulnerable. You don't fear being masculine. Fuck, I don't fear chasing my goals. I love chasing my goals and being independent. That's probably the same with you. You've probably been through a couple phases of being the lone wolf, making progress, chasing goals, which you probably were a little bit happy. But I can guarantee you probably something was missing a little bit. Connection. Love. Joy. The sooner you can dig deeper and realize that you're not being a bitch for being a little bit anxious, or that you're not any less masculine because you are avoidant, the sooner you can dig deeper and find the actual problems like insecurity, fear, and attack these problems, throttle them, get a grasp of them and say to yourself, I'm not going to let this control me. I'm not going to let these insecurities dictate how masculine I am. I'm going to keep pushing forward. I'm going to set even bigger goals. I'm going to dive even deeper into vulnerability, because right now, that's the most disciplined thing to do for me to live a happier life. It's just that most of these girls you can probably only attract right now also kind of think, oh, he's not even that masculine. He's always anxious. He's a pussy. If that's the case, bro, it's probably because you're attracting low quality girls because you're low quality yourself. You attract a reflection of yourself, okay? So right now, you might need to self-improve. You might need to become higher quality to reduce these insecurities a lot more, and for you to meet a girl who actually wants to help you, which will make you more masculine. How weird is that? You stress right now that being anxious or being avoidant is bad, which yeah, it is. And you don't want to communicate this because you think your girl will become less attracted to you. Whereas in reality, if you are to communicate these, try solve these problems, try solve your insecurities and fears, you will become 10 times more masculine. So the attraction, the polarization will only become this much more larger. A relationship is an investment. Throw these stereotypes in the bin. Realize that attachment styles have nothing to do with masculine and feminine energy. Lesson number 5, how to move towards secure attachment. The best move you can make right now on the chessboard, after listening to all this education and motivation about attachment styles, about the anxious and avoidance, the best thing you can do right now is to self-improve and try become more secure. Start to develop more of these secure traits like open communication, emotional stability, healthy boundaries. When I would watch videos and I would hear this advice of, become more secure, my brain would cope. My brain would say, I don't want to become more secure. I actually quite enjoy this anxious avoidant trap because it's exciting, it's drama, the emotions fluctuate. Right now, you're probably thinking that. You probably think you have or experience more love when you're in this anxious avoidant trap because of all this conflict and all these fucking emotional cycles. But what if I was to tell you that that isn't love? And that is actually just an activated attachment system. Your anxious attachment gets turned on and goes fucking bonkers when your partner isn't fulfilling your needs. That's probably the case with you right now, and you think that's a good thing, but it's not. Because you know deep down, if you're being honest and authentic with yourself, that just makes you overthink and makes you stress constantly throughout the day. Most people's relationships, like long term, if they're anxious or avoidant, their attachment styles and systems inside of them are constantly turned on and just going overdrive. Protest behavior, flared attachment systems. This isn't good. As an anxious individual, you want your attachment style to be in its cool state, not flared up, because that's not love. That's just craziness, and it just fucks you up. It fucks up your work, your hobbies, your life, your fitness, because you're constantly worried. Why have to deal with that? Become more secure with yourself so hopefully you can attract a secure partner. It's going to make your attachment style a whole lot calmer. How can you become more secure? What are some practical tips you can take away from this video? I actually have them written down. First off, start journaling daily. This is going to help you a whole lot more to identify triggers in yourself, identify past mistakes so you don't have to make the same mistakes again. If you can start journaling your triggers and when you feel more anxious and when you feel more secure, this is going to help you so much more to actually find someone you're compatible with and not just go through relationships with your brain turned off like a spastic. Secondly, self-reflection to work on insecurities. We all have insecurities, and the only way to improve on them is through self-growth. I'm still a pretty insecure individual. I'm not sitting here and recording this video saying, look at me guys, I'm so secure in my... That's not the case. I'm confident in the progress I've made from point A to point B and feel like I have some value to share from this book I've read. But I'm still trying to self-reflect. After this video, I'll re-watch it and self-reflect on this video to become more secure. But right now, you need to look at your situation and ask yourself, what areas do I show off a lot of insecurity? Self-reflect and put these insecurities in the grave. And finally, another way to become more secure in yourself is to surround yourself with secure people. You've probably heard the quote a million times that you are a sum of the 5 people that you hang out with. It's true. Like, what else, bro? Like, there's not much to say. You've heard this probably a million times. But right now, if I can look at your friendship group and I see that you're hanging around 5 insecure, low testosterone losers, you're going to be one of them as well. You're going to be so much more insecure compared to if you were to hang around 5 masculine, secure individuals who are all about making progress. You're going to be more secure, right? And that's going to help you in every other area of your life, like finding the one. It's going to help your mental health. You're going to feel better more often. So right now, if you're hanging around fucking dickheads, you're probably better off just being off alone for a while, because that's going to result in self-improvement. That's going to help you attract more secure individuals. So please, journal, self-reflect, and surround yourself with individuals who promote you and don't devalue you. And overall, this is going to save you a lifetime of mistakes, a lifetime of wasted time on crappy situationships, crappy talking stages, crappy all of that shit, bro. I know what you want from watching this video. You want to find the one. You follow all of these steps which I mentioned in this video, you will become attached to the right person. You will finally be able to express who you are and live life with a huge smile on your face. You will find the one. Finally, a quick actionable step to end the video. I highly recommend you read and invest in the book attached. This will cost you 25 bucks. I bought this book 6 months ago. I've read it like, 3 times now? I'm starting to highlight some bits if you can't really see it, but everything you learn in this video, yeah, it was valuable, yeah, it was motivational, but you're probably going to forget everything if you didn't take notes. I know for me, when I could take action and buy the books the YouTubers told me to buy, and I actually sat down and disciplined myself to read it, that's when I started to remember shit. That's when I started to implement shit. I would read this book, bro, and then I would go out for coffee with my friends and speak about all of the stuff I learned from it. And they would listen with a huge smile on their face. Kind of what you're doing now, listening to me speak. Because when you read something, it's like you have the data sets and you can then share them with others. It kind of sticks with you. Most people don't read books. Or like meaningful books. Like, yeah, you read some shitty books in high school, but those aren't the same. These books are truly life-changing. Because I motivated one of my close friends to read it. It took him like a week. But then he calls me and he just expresses how grateful he was to actually take action on the book I told him to buy. I hope that can be you. So please, take action and become attached to the right person. I hope this video motivated or inspired you. I'm currently doing one-on-one coaching mentorship. It'll be the first link in the description. Also, make sure to click the subscribe button so more of these videos about relationships, dating advice, masculinity can pop up on your homepage and you can watch them and educate yourself as soon as humanly possible. Other than that, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.